welcome to the Movie Reactor. Today I will show you an horror, mystery, and thriller film from 2023 titled The Nun 2. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below to help advise me on how to make this channel more intriguing for your enjoyment. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. 1956 in Tarascon, France, Father Noiret and a little child named Jacques meet at a church to complete their regular tasks. Before a glass shatters violently, Jacques hears a disturbance as he descends to the church's lower floor. Noiret is captured by him, and as they move toward the altar, he is abruptly thrown into the air and lit ablaze. Before Valak's ghost enters the area, Jacques leaves. Sister Irene is now a member of a new coven in Italy as a result of her previous encounter with Valak. Sister Deborah, a younger sister she has become friends with, frequently defies the authority of the more senior nuns. Irene overhears one of the other nuns discussing her encounter with Valak with the younger sisters, but the older nun never specifically mentions Irene. Maurice/Frenchie works in a boarding school in another part of France. He is pals with Kate, the schoolteacher, and gets along well with Sophie, Kate's daughter. At school, Sophie is constantly picked on by the other female students, and Maurice frequently steps in to stand up for her. The stern Madame Laurent, a severe woman who deeply laments the loss of her son Cedric, is in charge of the school. A young delivery boy in a nearby town finds himself all alone and is being followed by a demonic force. When Valak shows there, he lifts the youngster by the neck and snaps it. In her dream, Irene chases Maurice down an alley as he cries out for assistance while appearing demonized and possessed. After that, Cardinal Conroy and several church elders call Irene to a meeting. She is informed about Father Noiret's passing and that numerous other church officials have also been discovered dead in eerie circumstances. Irene is aware that Valak has returned, but at first she declines to look into it. Irene is informed that Father Burke has died of cholera when she inquires about him. Deborah, who is accompanying Irene and explaining her motivation for wanting to assist, she lost her mother in a fire started by racists, decides to attend. The mean girls from earlier come up to Sophie at school, act remorseful, and invite her to join a game. They take Sophie to a chapel that isn't open to the public in the school, where they issue a challenge to look at a mosaic of a goat in the window. If Sophie doesn't, they warn, the devil will come after her. The mosaic is illuminated by the sun, which gives the goat's eyes a crimson appearance. As Sophie tries to escape, the females lock her inside, and she briefly glimpses Valak. After reprimanding the other females and leaving Sophie with Kate, Maurice unlocks the door and lets the girl escape. Arriving at Tarascon are Irene and Deborah. When Irene locates Jacques, she tries to find out what he witnessed when Noiret was slain since he only stole a rosary off of him out of fear. Then, Jacques vanishes amid a group of young men playing in the streets. After speaking with a churchgoer who claims Valak has returned after marking Maurice during his attempt to save Irene, the nuns travel to the building. After visiting the Palais de Papes in Avignon and speaking with a librarian there about Valak, the sisters continue their investigation. Irene and Deborah find out that Valak is after an item known as the eyes because Saint Lucy, a martyr who would not perish after being put on fire, owned them. The eyes were last seen in a monastery that is now the boarding school, and the librarian thinks the victims were Lucy's offspring. Irene encounters a newsstand while walking through the streets at night where the magazines and newspapers are all turning the pages independently to produce an image of Valak. The lights flicker as Irene gets close to it, and then Valak comes and assaults her, knocking her out. Irene is helped by Deborah's location and medical attention. Irene talks in private to Deborah about her own mother once she awakens and recalls the little moments she shared with her before she passed away. Back at the school, Sophie starts to observe Maurice acting strangely, and he too senses a demonic force around him. Madame Laurent, who was informed that Sophie was present and claimed to have seen something, is by herself in the church doing an investigation. She sees someone running around and screaming out to her, who she assumes to be Cedric. Valak entices her into a trap, where she is killed. The school is where Irene and Deborah find the eyes. Valak summons a demon goat to attack the girls and starts wreaking havoc with the possessed Frenchie. While Irene guards Sophie, Deborah and Kate end themselves in the hands of the bigger group of females. The goat terrorizes the girls by assuming the guise of a deceased Madame Laurent and chasing after them. Before Deborah can intervene, the goat impales one of the cruel girls through the shoulder after attempting to seal it off. The school's bell tower falls during the ensuing turmoil, but none of the girls are wounded. Irene comes upon Maurice, whose possession has grown to the point where Valak is attempting to seize control. Deborah shows up to assist Irene as she makes an attempt to exorcise Maurice using the eyes. Maurice stops moving as it seems to start killing him. As Irene begins to lament the loss of her buddy, Valak uses him to seize the eyes and change into his real demon nun form, bringing him back to life. Irene's fire goes out after the demon's attempt to set her on fire fails since she is a St. Lucy descendant. They are able to pray fervently enough, with Deborah's assistance, to both save Maurice and transform the wine in the room into the blood of Christ. The barrels detonate, flooding Valak with water, and relegating the demon to hell. Following his recovery, Maurice rejoins Kate and Sophie. Irene, like Maurice, is delighted to see her buddy again, but she looks at him with concern in her eyes. Please consider subscribing. If you enjoyed the content, then please hit the like button as it helps the channel and is greatly appreciated. Also, if you know anyone who would enjoy watching this content, then please share and help this community grow. Thanks for watching.